learning opportunity that are accessible, affordable, accountable, and inclusive. And this initiative that we've just embarked on of expanding the entrepreneurship mindset among Florida's youth is something that we believe is an economic development for the state of Florida. What better way to strengthen Florida's economy than having youth that have the entrepreneurship mindset, as well as preparing the youth for Florida for their future career advancement. So just a quick thank you for joining us. And we are so excited to start this conversation with you today and looking forward to helping and working with you throughout the year.
Wonderful. And then we have another Jennifer Smith. If you could just introduce yourself, tell us what city or county you're from and what organization you're with.
Hello, I'm not sure why it's popping up as Jennifer Smith, but my name is Trinita Dufresne. I'm with the Resource Room in Miami-Dade County.
Okay, thank you. And Diana?
Hi, yes. My name is Diana Loris. I'm with Project Rise, also from Miami-Dade County.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are super excited to present the Youth Entrepreneurship Seminar to you today, answer any questions you may have, and move forward with this journey of expanding the entrepreneurship mindset across Florida. I'm going to go ahead and just get started. Oops, hold on. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay.
It's not official unless something technological just has to.
Gotta love it.
The sign of a great start.
And it's telling me my internet's unstable. So I'm like, oh, this is wonderful.
Oh, you're coming through loud and clear.
Okay, great. All right. We have a few more people. Let's see. All right.
Hey, Jennifer, this is Holly. I just
Hi,
want
Holly.
to know if you would like to disable the waiting room at this point so that you don't have to keep letting people in. There's a function to do that if you'd like to try that.
Okay, I'll keep them. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. All right. So my name is Jennifer Smith. For those of you that don't know me, I do see some familiar faces, but there are quite a few new ones on here. I have been with the Florida Afterschool Network now for the last 3 months. I am joining their team as their youth entrepreneurship specialist, and my position was created thankfully through a grant through the Mott Foundation. And our goal here is to expand the entrepreneurship mindset for youth across Florida. And what better way to start with our after-school providers? I thought maybe creating this survey and getting it out to the Children's Service Councils, the Kids Hope Alliance, and with some of the connections I had to kind of get a feel of what's already happening in the realm of entrepreneurship. And it's been exciting to see the data coming in. We have quite a few counties and cities that have responded. We had several superintendents fill out the survey. So it's not even just after school. A lot of people wanted to see this happen in before school programs, after school, summer, even during the school day. So I'm really excited to be here with our TA partners, Venture Lab, Waggy Labs, and the Youth Entrepreneurship Institute. Here are our presenters today, and you'll hear from each of them. And before we go ahead and hear from everyone, these are our youth entrepreneurship partners, and just a few bullet points that kind of give you an overview of what their focus is, the grades that they serve. And what I honestly love in getting to know these 3 individuals over the last few months is that they work collaboratively together across the country, and they do projects and they work with other after school networks, and they all have kind of found their lane And I feel like we're stronger together, and it's been such a pleasure getting to know them, exploring the work that they do, and kind of planning for the future as we get ready to launch this initiative throughout Florida. So other than that, you guys, thank you. I know lots of you, today is your first day of pre-planning. I'm glad I got you on the first part of your pre-planning, because I'm sure you guys have a million things on your list, but we will be respectful of your time from 10 to 12 today, and answer any questions you may have, and do follow-ups in the next week or so with you. So welcome. And Scott, I'm going to let you go ahead and take it from here.
I'm actually going to Chic first.
Yep, sounds great.
Awesome.
Okay, see the screen all right? Okay, so I love this. I love the brainstorm. I actually believe, I grew up on a beach, so I do believe life is a beach, but I also believe life is a brainstorm. And to me, brainstorming started very early in life. And I want you to think back to when you were 5 years old. You're at home, a box is delivered, a large box, or maybe it was even an appliance box. And your parents were all excited about what was in the box, but you were excited about the box. So I want you to just think in your brain, what did you turn the box into? So now I just want you to go into your imagination, just think for 15 seconds, reflect. What did you turn that box into? I'm going to be quiet, just reflect, play in your brain. And what's so cool about what did you turn the box into is whether it was a castle, a sled, a spaceship, or a puppet show, you used a certain language. That language is, it's not a box, it's a. And what's so cool about it's not a box language is that is truly the definition of out-of-the-box thinking. And it is the same language that we use constantly as an adult, because a box is a finite idea. However, it's not a box is an infinite idea. And that's what the difference is. That's where the curiosity is. So as we're all thinking about COVID and getting over COVID and also Delta variant and all that, let's look at how we view a home. It's not a home, it's a school, it's a library, it's a vacation, it's a restaurant, it's a theater, it's a gym, it's a food warehouse. This gave us the agility and the resilience to go and weather through the last 15, 18 months. So using that same strategy, I want to think about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is not a class. It's a life skill. It's a team builder. It's social emotional learning. It's course builder. It's financial literacy. It's community awareness. It's compassion, empathy. And with that in mind, I want to demonstrate for you brainstorming. We had this question when we were in 5th grade. And the question is, how many squares are there? So I want you to go and just start counting up in your brain. Now, remember when we had that quiz, there was one right answer. Your feet are supposed to be on the floor and you're not allowed to look at anybody else's paper. I want you to count up how many squares are there. And I'm going to put on a little music while you're counting. And when the music's over, I want you to write down on a piece of paper how many squares you see. The blue is not a square, that's a rectangle. Okay, so write down your answer, and if anybody wants to shout out an answer, just unmute and tell us an answer or put it in chat. So you normally start seeing 16 because you go 4 by 4, but then you redefine what a square is and go 2 by 2.
On the agenda?
And the 2 by 2s, there are 9 2 by 2s. And then you go 3 by 3, and there are 4 3 by 3s, and then there's the one big one. So hopefully you all came up with your answer somewhere close to 30, and you're feeling good. But now I want to teach you what brainstorming is. That's not brainstorming. That's just mathematics, because the answer in the back of the math book in 5th grade was 30. And there's actually a formula for this, which is 4 squared, the sum of 4 squared plus 3 squared plus 2 squared plus 1 squared, which equals 30. Now I'm going to demonstrate brainstorming. But I have to take you out of the United States. Waggy Labs started in Ghana, and then we moved over to Nigeria, then South Africa. Now we launched last week in Haiti, and we're in inner cities starting in the United States. So 4 years ago, I'm teaching Waggy Labs in Ghana over Skype into a church school. I have about 25 4th graders. And one little girl says, Mr. Thompson, yes, we see 30, but we just learned that all lines on computers are made of pixels, and pixels are square. So since we're watching your presentation on a laptop, aren't there a lot more squares than 30? And I'm going, you know, I never thought of that. And then another kid goes, well, what's the resolution of your monitor? Because that's how determine how many squares there are. Again, I had to go to Wikipedia to realize that 9-year-old was correct. And then another kid said, if you're using a computer, you can go to 3D. Wouldn't that make it even more? Now you've just seen what brainstorming is. Brainstorming, in all brainstorming, we're always looking for second and third right answers. That's what entrepreneurs do. The way to go and view those second right answers, you have to look at things from a different perspective. Again, a skill set of an entrepreneur. Einstein taught 1st and 2nd year physics. In 2nd year physics, he gave the same final exam as from 1st year physics. When a student said, Dr. Einstein, we already had this test, he said, I know, but this is 2nd year physics and the answers are different this year. Again, the definition of an entrepreneur. And of course, collaboration is key, which is so different than when we went to school, when we had to keep our eyes on our paper and there was one right answer and the teacher was always right. So I want to tell you where my passion for entrepreneurship came. This is me at 7 years old. I have, they didn't use the term when I was 7. I have severe dyslexia and ADHD, and I was held back in 2nd grade because I can't read. And I said to my mother, I had an idea. My goal in life is to be a cartoonist for Walt Disney. I drew cartoons from the moment I was born. And I said to my mother, I get a D on everything I write, but I get an A on everything I draw. So what if I illustrate every book report? What if I illustrate, posters and do all kinds? What if I got into the arts? What if I got into acting? What if I got on and on and on? That's how I got out of high school, by drawing, singing, acting. Unfortunately, that strategy did not work in college. But the good news is my neighbor growing up was a cartoonist, and he became my mentor. He drew me this cartoon when I was 10. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Rube Goldberg, but he invented, when I was a little kid, a game called the Mousetrap game. And he taught me the strategy of being curious and of being, I guess in other words, becoming an entrepreneur. Because Rube Goldberg, when you look at one of his drawings, you see how he labels everything A, B, C, D, E, F, on and on and on. And he told me that most people in life like to go from A to B as fast as possible. I want to go from K to 12, and then I want to go from 1st year to 4th year. And my MBA students, they can't wait to get out, to go to Wall Street, to go and make this money. And I'm going, Rube said his goal in life is to go from A to B using all the letters of the alphabet, because that's where the curiosity is. And so now I want to sort of demonstrate that for you. A to B as fast as possible is not brainstorming. But if you define your problem at A, and then you think divergently to go, how can I look at this from a different perspective? And then say, well, what's right about this different perspective? So about 15 years ago, I was asked to go and redesign the emergency room of the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland and several other hospitals. And I'm going, wow, I'm not a doctor or a nurse. How can I go and redefine an ER? And I go, what if I looked at it from a NASCAR perspective? What if a NASCAR pit crew designed the emergency room for the hospital? That was my reframe. And we came up with so many ideas. We have now redesigned 5 major hospital ERs around the United States. And we just redesigned a neonatal unit using the same brainstorm. How would a NASCAR pit crew redesign the flow of our triage? So that's what brainstorming is. It's going from A to B using some other letters. And the ideas pop out, not just through divergent thinking, not just through convergent thinking, but through then what I call emergent thinking. So what is success in life? A lot of people think it's A to B and then, hey, all's good, then I retire and all's good. But that's not how an entrepreneur thinks. An entrepreneur knows this is what life's all about. There's going to be detours, there's going to be yields, there's going to be stop signs, there's going to be sickness, there's going to be pandemics. And you've got to prepare for that. So I just want to let you know, I got my dream job. I became a cartoonist for Walt Disney in 1976. And I threw out an idea that the Disney folks, I was working on Epcot, as you know, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. I was in Burbank. Orlando was just being constructed, at least the Epcot part. And I threw out an idea. I said, why don't we use this new technology called videotape with our Disney cartoons? And here was the response from management. Our cartoons will never go on videotape because they didn't trust the American consumer. They said, if the American consumer puts the wonderful world of Disney on videotape or Fantasia or whatever, they will never go to the movies. They won't go to the theme parks anymore. So I stayed 3 more months and I quit. And I started my own cartoon company using videotape. And 10 years later, I sold that company. And because I believe never doesn't mean never, I sold my company to Encyclopedia Britannica. Never doesn't mean never, just means not now. So now what I do is I teach people how to brainstorm. And the reason why I tell you that backstory is because I've always taught adults. I don't have children. I'm 73 years old. Why am I talking to you about Waggy Labs and elementary school kids? Because 7 years ago, my life changed. 7 years ago, I'm getting out of the hospital for, I don't know, my 5th operation. I have what's called Crohn's disease, along with a couple of other things. I'm feeling terrible. My dean says, I think you should retire from teaching. I just finished a whole treatment of chemotherapy and I'm going, I should retire. And then I go, well, my dean said, hey, there's this local school. It's a 4th grade class that wants you to come on and give a talk. Why don't you go and just have some fun, no pressure, go and teach. It's a bunch of 4th grade kids. So I went and gave an hour talk about brainstorming. And after my talk, a little girl came up to me and wrapped her arms around my knees and said, Mr. Thompson, that was really fun. Will you come back? All I could do was cry. I felt terrible because I was just recovering from my surgery. I was still dizzy. And that little girl gave me the incentive to go for me to start brainstorming about what if today's kids are society's R&D lab. So just so you know, I'm a chemist by training. So I spent a lot of years in an R&D lab. I helped invent a product that you might wear. My boss was Bill Gore. The first product that we came up with was called Gore-Tex. So if you happen to wear any of their athletic clothing, we came up with it in 1970 and 71 and 72 in the lab. But I started to say, what if today's kids are society's R&D? What if? What if becoming an entrepreneur or a kidpreneur, it's not taught, because again, it's not a class, it's caught. It's caught by creating an environment and a safe space for kids to invent and to collaborate and to break rules and to get messy. What if success is measured by impact on the community, not by a letter grade based on how many answers you got on a 10 quiz question? So that's what Waggy Labs is. It's ideas for good. It's coming up, it's helping kids in 3rd through 5th grade identify community challenges, brainstorm ideas, and then we've created a guppy tank. It is not a shark tank. Shark tanks scare me. It's a guppy tank for kids. And what if a Waggy Labs guppy tank teamed up with your gator pit? I just threw it out. So the point being, as I told you 7 years ago, I said in my mind, and I've said all my life, I don't have children, ideas are my kids. Guess what? The kids in Ghana, they say they're my kids now, but even more, they say that their ideas that they come up with in Waggy Labs are my grandkids. So do you see what thinking entrepreneurially can do? It's exponential. So there's the kids in Ghana. Now, I'm just going to throw out, they defined a community challenge several years ago that they catch malaria. And they wanted to go and educate the community about healthy hand washing. So I'm going, okay, so you gonna draw posters? Because that's what I would have done. And they go, no. I go, okay, can I help you with my cartoons? Like, no, we're gonna create a music video. I'm going, you know how to do a music video? They go, yeah. Do you know how to write music? Yeah. Okay. So what we do in Waggy Labs, when we like a class's ideas, we immediately send them $250 to prototype. That's part of our goal at Waggy Labs, is to distribute 8,000 prizes of $250 over the next 10 years. And so, oh, and let you know, everything we do at Waggy Labs is free. So the kids, a month later, send me this video. The kids wrote this themselves. They filmed it on their smartphone, and they used the $250 to pay for some music and some editing that adults had to do. I just want you to see the opening minute of their video.
Have fun. One and two. Back, back, back. Every day back. Wash, wash, wash. Every day wash. Bath every day. Wash every day. Wash and wash your hands. After praise and hands. Show hands and friends. Healthy, healthy and strong.
There's one of the mothers that got involved. So the kids repeat it and they do it in Twi, their native language. I just want to tell you what happened. The music video got so popular, it's on all Ghanaian TV. The community has created roadside billboards to promote the video, and the girls now have gone on and become like rock stars. But it's not just Ghana. Here's Cleveland, inner city Cleveland, doing a brainstorm in December for Carla Neely's 4th grade class. The kids, 20 kids on a Zoom call, have identified their need as they want to go, and as one girl said, I want to create a face mask for my mother. She goes to work in the dark and she comes home from work in the dark, which I'm thinking, okay, she works second shift, inner city Cleveland. And I go, okay, so what's different about the face mask you want to create than the kind that you normally get? She goes, I want mine to glow in the dark because nobody can see my mom. And I want my mom to be able to see other people that are on the street, especially people that are homeless and all that. So I want to create glow in the dark. I said, okay, this is a STEM experiment. They already knew a little bit about STEM. And I said, okay, I'm going to send you $250. You're going to buy supplies. You're going to, and the kids came up with, they took glow in the dark fingernail polish. They painted designs on their face masks. They now are distributing them out. And it's been a very successful STEM experiment for them. But here's the thing that I say, thank you, Lord, for. 4 of those girls were Zooming in from homeless shelters. And the girl whose idea the face mask was one of those girls in a homeless shelter. So how do I get the opportunity to help a girl in a homeless shelter, learn to brainstorm? And the teacher told me that is the first time that girl has participated in this last year in class, and the kids get engaged. So that's what brainstorming is all about. Here's Louisa, Virginia, very rural Virginia. The kids notice that their grandmothers are in nursing homes and don't go outside enough. So the kids said, what if we build birdhouses and benches and put them by the nursing homes? And then what if we, the kids in Louisa County, became bird experts and went and visited their grandmothers and grandfathers and helped them become bird watchers? So in Louisa, Waggy Lab started in 3rd through 5th grade, now in K through 12. We're throughout. We thought it was 3 through 5, but it's expanding. So in closing, when I brainstorm, I love to juggle 3 things. So for example, I just throw out, in case you happen to drink this soft drink, in 1994, Pepsi called up and said, we need a new soft drink. And I go, okay. You know, I said, what Pepsi does really well is distribution. But I said, you know, what's really popular right now is Starbucks. So what about, you know, creating a coffee drink? And they go, no, we don't want to create a coffee drink. And I go, you know, the other popular thing is bottled water. And Pepsi said, we will never sell bottled water. I'm going, I've heard that never before. The popular bottled water in 1994 was called Perrier, came in a 9.5 ounce glass bottle. So I said, what if we slam all three things together, Pepsi's distribution, Starbucks coffee, and Perrier water, and created a soft drink that Pepsi could sell that was Frappuccino. So just so you know, that's how Frappuccino was invented. You didn't know Frappuccino was made by Pepsi, but it certainly was. And that brainstorm generated over $2 billion in sales in the last 20 years. So in thinking about creating Waggy Labs, I go, what are my 3 things I'm going to smash up? Curiosity, compassion, and courage to create a socially emotional learning environment. So there's our formula. There's our E equals MC squared. Curiosity plus compassion plus courage equals a kidpreneur. And we've created guidelines. Dream big, do good, keep going, play it forward. Of course, walk in other shoes, get messy, improv, yes, and building on ideas and creating a safe space. We took the kids on a tour. We took them on a boat excursion because I never realized until the kids told me that entrepreneurship had the word ship in it. So that's why it's an entrepreneurship, where the kids go through the sea of curiosity, the islands of compassion, the ocean of courage, and the crossroads of connection. It's a 178-page study guide, 13 lessons. It's all free. It's in the resources, so you can download it right from the resource page that Jennifer is putting up. And we've even created a card game that the kids can play at home called Ideas for Good. The new thing we're working with right now is creating pen pals, global pen pals with the Waggy Labs kids in Ghana and Nigeria, with the kids in Cleveland and Chicago. It's empathy the old-fashioned way, by sending postcards. So as I close, I said to myself, what is the most dangerous place? And I asked some of my clients, because I work in the intel community, FBI, CIA, they're my main clients. I said, what is the most dangerous community in the world right now? And unfortunately, it's where Boko Haram is. And it's in that town in Nigeria. So I go, okay, that's where we're going. So that's where we built the first Waggy Lab school. And we've actually put a school, those kids don't go to regular school. We've got a Waggy Lab school for them. And we feed them, give them clothes, the whole thing. I mean, I am having a blast. I have more energy now at 73 than I definitely had at 65. And my goal in life, as Plato said so well, Plato said we all strive to achieve immortality. And there's three ways to achieve immortality. One way is by having children. Second way is by planting trees. And the third way is by creating ideas and help make them happen. So I open it up, just a couple of minutes of questions, and then Scott Mann with Venture Labs will take it over. So I will unshare now. So if there's any questions, just do it verbally rather than the chat, or I'll just move it to Scott. Okay, I'm going to pass the baton to Scott.
Awesome. Thanks, Chic. And Chic, why don't you drop your email and your website into the chat so people can have that if they want to peruse. I'll give Chic a shout. He's got some great resources, and I love hearing Chic's story every time. It never gets old, and I learn a little bit more each time. He doesn't know he's my secret mentor. I haven't told him. One day when I grow up, I'm gonna be like Chic.
Thank you, Scott.
Scott Mann with Venture Lab here. Really honored to be a part of this training, this seminar today. And Venture Lab. Before I get into who we are, what we do, starting with, this is my classroom. I taught in public schools for almost 10 years in that upper elementary, bilingual in urban and rural areas. And this was one of my crews that I got to spend in a self-contained classroom. I'm a lifelong learner. I love education, and just a lot of respect and props to all of you out there that, on the front lines every day, making the difference in the lives of kids. So keep up the great work. Venture Lab is the proud technical assistant and youth entrepreneurship for the Florida Afterschool Network, but also for 15 other states that are part of this youth entrepreneurship initiative of the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation. And then all 50 states are working, as Brian mentioned, out there to create and support quality after school and out of school time education. So I love zooming all around the nation and the world. Our Venture Lab community, now we have got over 500,000 youth reached worldwide through our curriculum and programs, over 150 countries. And I was on yesterday evening with an organization in Australia, and my little 3-year-old son runs in and he's like, hey, can I ask him a question about kangaroos? Not quite with that fluency. He's 3, but he was really curious if the pouch was furry on the inside, and the jury's still out. So if there's anybody that knows, but that connection there is amazing. We have other partners and collaborators. I know we have some CIS folks on the call. I'd love to talk offline about kind of what some of our examples look like with those programs. Proud to partner with Girl Scouts USA and some other amazing organizations around the nation. And at Venture Lab, we know that entrepreneurship is more than just starting a business. And I'll probably say more than once, like Chic said, it is a way of thinking. It is a mindset and a set of skills. And you can see those on the left, starting with that ever important curiosity, and then the skills that those youth will work through when they're interacting with youth entrepreneurship in your programs. And this is what it looks like. Saw some amazing examples that Chic showed us. Entrepreneurship is fun, y'all. It's just when you get kids in that frame of mind to think about, how can you get creative and get outside that box and think a little wacky, and that come up with something which kids who haven't been quite yet, the younger ones, put in that there has to be a right answer. this is a way for them to get out of that. And then when we're in the older kids, we can reorient them to that inherent skill they have of creativity. It is critical thinking, it is collaboration, entrepreneurship is making and hands-on. And then the courage and the confidence that you see grow in these youth as they start to talk amongst themselves and when they're sharing their ideas through those presentations or pitches. It's really a big shift and change that we see. But it's not just for the youth, it's also for the instructors. And I realize that I may have the wrong deck. I don't have the wrong deck, but for some reason it didn't show you the slide I wanted. So looking at those kids, saying that it's fun, we just got some data back, and overwhelmingly out of 100 group of kids, 100 youth, they're telling us that we enjoyed this. And yeah, it made me think about new career ideas, going back to Brian and intro and the possibility for impact on the Florida economy. It's getting kids thinking in that mindset already. But it's fun for teachers to teach as well. This is actually a group, I don't recommend that you try this right now, but maybe later. Just thinking about how they can reach their youth, but then we ourselves bringing that same creativity and energy to our kids and helping them identify problems to solve. It's a lot of fun for us as well. And the instructor satisfaction was overwhelming because it is something that, as Chic said, it is very rewarding when you get to walk that path with youth. So we're going to hear from one of those youth right now. And while you're listening to 6-year-old Kennedy here, I'd like for you to think about those mindsets on the left and skills on the right, and drop in the chat which ones do you think that she's displaying here or had to put into practice or use while she was getting to this point in her idea.
Hi, my name is Kennedy, and my shop is called Kennedy's Fashion Store. Why can't nobody find their favorite belt in their size? I don't know. I can make any belt you want. It can be stylish and fun. And if you don't want me to make it, I can send you a box and you can decorate it your own self. Buy one today for $10. But before that, I'm going to show you my belts. Glittery-rific, Cheetah-rific, Time to Rock, and Time to Rock. Buy one today for $10. My website is called shopunicornmagic.com.
Yay. So if you go to Shop Unicorn Magic right now, you can see that her shop is up and she just expanded, y'all. She now has belts for the boys. Yeah, what type of, you should go there. I know that some of our staff has gotten some belts from her. Anybody have those mindsets and skills? And I'm going to drop in the chat box here as well, our mindset skill set page. That's kind of our foundational document that we include with all of our curriculum and program resources. Yeah, Stephanie, that courage to just be 6 and share your idea. Kennedy is definitely amazing, given that opportunity to step into that. Definitely some resourcefulness along the way and problem solving. I think anytime that we put a youth and ourselves in that problem solving process, there's going to be some inherent failure and persistence and grit. And that's a really great thing that this entrepreneurship education lifts up and provides youth with that experience. And then for you, the instructors, to provide that framework for them.
And I'm looking here in the chat box, Scott, and some of the people. Yeah, so we have curiosity, problem solving, pitching, start them young. Yes, Lynn, I totally agree. Holly, I want to shop Unicorn Magic. Me too. Courage, problem solving, resourcefulness, adaptability.
Yeah, thank you. My chat wasn't unrolled, but love that curiosity. And the pitching is always that exhibition at the end, that culminating event that you can put in your programs to show youth. to give them that experience and then to show everyone what they've been up to and to share their ideas. That future skill set and the skill set that the curiosity that Chic was talking about, the importance of, it is an employability skill. It's something that employers are looking for, and then the World Economic Forum is telling us that it is moving up the list along with emotional intelligence. I'm sharing this quote because it really connects for me this idea of how creativity and then that imagination, that what if and why not, really connects to entrepreneurship and innovation. Giving kids, again, that opportunity, all they need. And once you put that time and resources in front of them and with some guidance, they never disappoint. They will always blow you away with the amazing ideas and concepts that they create. I mean, we see that change represented in data, and this is one of the things that Venture Lab provides, is a way to measure the change in your youth and the instructors. So we can see that across these mindsets that students are growing through these entrepreneurship programs. They are reporting, you know, there is an increase in my problem solving. I do feel a change in the way that I can think about how I'm empathetic and how I respond to failure. And the same with the skills. When we get down into that process that kids are working through, we're seeing a great increase in response, which is always heartening to see. So we're going to hear from youth here. This is Victoria.
So one of the mindsets that I was working on was persistence and grit. I especially used this at the beginning because although I kind of knew how I wanted to make these glasses with charms, I didn't really know how to. I hadn't made like a sturdy prototype yet. So when I was making it, I did experience like a lot of failures, but with persistence and grit, I was able to get through that and I was able to make a good prototype. So that's definitely a mindset that has helped me while making this business. I think donating to this program is a powerful thing. I know for me, it helped me prepare for my future because I'm interested in business and in the eye. So in this program, I got to learn a little bit about both. And I can definitely say I'm just so excited to go to college already and start and expand my business. I'm so excited for that. And it just shows like the impact that this program makes. And it's really a powerful thing.
So Venture Lab was founded 8 years ago by Dr. Luz Gristal-Glangchai. She's the author of Venture Girls. And it really came out of this idea where she was in the STEM fields. She herself was working in labs and discovered a drug delivery method that I don't pretend to understand, but it was a way to deliver cancer medication to specific cells without hurting others. And as she was in the lab, and she knew she was the only female there and had gotten used to that, but as she's got the patent with her team and was looking for investment, she was also the only female in the boardroom. And she was like, well, how can we get more women, and not only in STEM, but also involved in entrepreneurship and the business side of this world? So she went to the university systems and started teaching entrepreneurship to freshmen and sophomores here at the University of Texas and the University of Trinity, and saw this, all of the girls in her class weren't sharing their ideas. She saw that lack of confidence and lack of courage, whereas the male counterparts would gladly stand up and share a wrong answer. She's like, well, how can I solve this issue? And she started working with her girls who were 5 years old at the time and teaching them those same lessons around entrepreneurial thinking and mindsets and doing some activities. And they will later become the foundation for Venture Lab. And a couple of weeks later, she got a call back from her principal at the school and said, hey, you know, your girls are really changing. They've been raising their hand more in class. The teachers are saying their grades have improved a little, and they're selling some things on the playground. So if you could have them stop, please, because that's against the rules. But just that tangible is like, hey, something's working here. So those lessons that she did with her daughters became camps, the camps that were for girls at the beginning. Soon the brothers were asking if they could go. And then here we are 8 years later, with a variety of curriculum and programs serving the after-school community. And it's that connection to STEM. If you have existing STEM and arts programs, entrepreneurship we see really brings that to life and allows them to apply that learning, whether it's that mask creation through the prototyping process, the development of their product, service, app, or service project, and whatever it is that they're working on, they can work through that process. And again, always fun to see the numbers to where students are self-reporting that, yeah, that it is working. Entrepreneurship education does move the needle. And then that last piece, whenever you have a kid saying, hey, this actually, I get done with these activities and it makes me feel more confident in myself and my abilities. We want to keep doing that. Let's skip that one. So a little bit of practical implementation as you're sitting there thinking, you know, hey, I'm going to have kids in my building soon, or I'm going to be implementing possibly entrepreneurship. What can it look like? And my mom always said, don't answer a question with a question, but I feel like in this case, it might be the best just to say, well, how long do you have? Because you can have entrepreneurship activity, a one-off in an afternoon or a weekend. You can do a multi-day unit or camp. You can have that week-long or multi-week-long summer or fall break, Christmas break, or you can implement it as a full-on semester club. And the Venture Lab programs are always very flexible and help you fit those needs as you're taking kids through that process, from creativity all the way through the idea gen, different parts of this process to get them to their pitch. So some of those resources we have at no cost out there on our website at venturelab.org, these topics in entrepreneurship. These are some deep dives. They come as downloadable PDFs that you can access at any time to really get that first experience and taste of entrepreneurship. If you're just looking to see, well, I'm not ready to invest an entire semester or program to this, but I want to see what it's like. These topics in entrepreneurship are great, and we have them from 1st through 12th grade. So for the CIS crowd out there, one of our projects was working with their AmeriCorps volunteers that would go into their schools and work with one-on-one and small groups of students. And this mindset workbook was kind of their framework that they used for their meetings that, throughout the school year as they worked with their kids. So we have English and Spanish, a great opportunity for structured conversation, but around those entrepreneurial mindsets for the younger grades. We have our idea to pitch program, and this is one that if you're ready to go in for a semester is perfect. It comes with that student workbook, instructor guide, but you know, just in case the world decides to go back to a hybrid or remote situation, we have those digital tool options. For the exploration and innovation, such a large part of entrepreneurship connects to that, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? What does a career look like when you think like an entrepreneur? So for that middle school kids that might be rolling into their career and technical education pathways or thinking about what's next, it's a way where we start them with creativity to discover, explore, and innovate a career for themselves, and then talk about networking, talk about professional communication, and how that all connects to entrepreneurship. Our COVID pivot, we have an online course that is self-paced. So if this is something that your programs would like to look into, we have some bulk pricing and would love to share that opportunity. Hey, here's Kennedy again. And actually this week, we have a virtual pitch event on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, 2 days on Thursday. On our website, you can register to be part of the audience and come and see some amazing youth pitch their ideas into non-competitive environments. Just one of the experiences that we provide at Venture Lab for youth. We also have a mindset and materials mentorship program. We call the Venture Lab Spark mentorship program, where we take youth at ages 8 to 18 and give them 4 months of mentorship focused on those mindsets and explicitly working with them to grow their entrepreneurial thinking, while providing up to $500 in material support for them to create those more refined prototypes or to scale an existing business, connect them with entrepreneurs, and start to create that all-important network. Another resource is the venturelab.org Builder. It's a financial literacy and business model interactive tool that the kids can click through, and it prompts them with questions. And at the end, they'll be able to plug in and some estimated expenses, revenues, just a simple calculator that will tell them if they're going to make a profit, and then they can print out the business plan that helps them really think through their idea. Venture Lab also provides professional development, ongoing coaching. We work with a lot of different states and different institutions to help their instructors move forward and have that kind of ongoing support that really drives their quality instruction. And it's fun. All right, questions and answers. I'll also open it up at this time if you had anything. If not, we have our last presenter, Kelly Bigger of Young Entrepreneur Institute. Anybody out there? All right, well, it's a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you, and have a great day. Have a great school year.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer and Brian, for having us here today. I'm Kelly Bigger from the Young Entrepreneur Institute, and I want to also thank Scott and Chic, who are awesome partners. As Jennifer said, we really love working together, and it all comes together and weaves together so well. So thank you. And as Scott said, we all learn so many new things every time we hear each other speak. So proud to be a part of this group. At the Young, we are located in a boys' school in the east side of Cleveland, Ohio. So we were started in 2006 by a serial entrepreneur named Greg Melkin. And he started teaching at school and building the Institute. And today we are about 8 people strong. So it has grown, and we work with in school, out of school, after school, homeschool, anybody who wants to spread that entrepreneurial mindset. Our mission statement is that we hope that every child will understand and experience entrepreneurship, and that is whether or not they become an entrepreneur. As Chic and Scott said so well, it's all about the entrepreneur mindset and thinking about the skills that these kids need to be successful in life, whether or not they're an entrepreneur. Curiosity, creativity, problem solving, grit, resilience, just all those great soft and hard skills that kids need for life. So, and even thinking of these days, I feel like we're all entrepreneurs with the pandemic. We've all had to think outside the box, as Chic showed us. We are all taking problems and turning them into opportunities. So, so we're all entrepreneurs. So we are in the K through 12 space, and we work with facilitators, teachers, educators. We do work with some students. Our typical model is sort of a train-the-train model, as we feel like we can sort of spread more of our knowledge and expertise in that way. But as Scott said, we are also a technical assistant with the Mott Foundation. So our services are free of charge to you. So I thought today I would just jump into our website, if you don't mind, and just show you a few of the resources that we have out there that we would be happy to share with you. Let's see. Can everybody see my screen? Looking good? Good? Yeah, great, thank you. So this is our website. I can put it in the chat box afterwards. It's called youngentrepreneurinstitute.org. And I'm just gonna show you a quick few things. Our K through 12 programming, we have something called Celebrate Youth Entrepreneurship Day. And that's typically in the past in the Cleveland area, we've invited schools to come in. We've had a young entrepreneur speaker, and we have paid for the transportation. But this year we were virtual. So you all are welcome to jump in. We had a great gal this year named Haley Thomas, 20 years old. And you can see here, she's an international speaker, a health activist, a vegan food and lifestyle influencer, and also is the CEO and founder of a nonprofit called Happy. So feel free, it's about just under an hour, but if you just click on here, you are welcome to that talk. And we had kids from all over the nation on listening to her speak. And our past speakers are on here as well. So Feel free to use that as a resource with your kids if you would like to, and we'll keep you posted on what the next upcoming items will be as well. I just wanted to also show you a little bit about our Young Entrepreneur Markets. We hold these in the Northeast Ohio area, and this is where kids could take a product. Chick and Scott showed you some kids out there with real products, and just to show you these markets that we have, and we, even though these are in Northeast Ohio, we're happy to help you work with markets in your area and work with Jennifer and Brian to get some of these type of things set up. So these kids, any kid can go and just sign up. So we have, you know, a market at the Sunset Market at Van Aken that is on Thursdays from 4 to 7. And then we have a Shaker Square Farmers Market. So they're kind of all over the Northeast Ohio area. And you can see the kids just sign up. Jazzy's going to do Jazzy J's skincare, and somebody's doing stationery stickers. Sunshine Sisters do beaded creation. So just a great way for kids to get out there and have a real live selling experience. And this is a cute video if you want to show it to the kids at all, but it's fun to see the kids actually at the market. Let's click on it. I'll see if it'll play. I'll just play you a little minute of it if my Wi-Fi is working.
Being an entrepreneur makes me feel professional. Being an entrepreneur makes me feel unique. Being an entrepreneur makes me feel confident. The Young Entrepreneur Market is one of the flagship programs of the Young Entrepreneur Institute. We give students K through 12 a real-world selling experience. Partner with farmers markets, community events, pretty much anywhere where there is a large group of adults who can be an audience and customer base. We want to have a market. The students get a thrill out of standing next to real vendors, being treated like a real grown-up vendor, and they are able to make real sales.
Having an entrepreneurial mindset, I think going forward in the workplace is going to be absolutely critical.
We learn by doing. We learn through experience. Entrepreneurship and the skills that are required to be a great entrepreneur translate to be a great human in any capacity.
Over like a couple of my first markets, I've learned that you can't forget anything.
Kids loved it, watching them be part of a market and watching their salesmanship and their entrepreneurial ideas come to life and actually be part of a community event was incredible.
The whole selling experience gave them a real reality of what it is to be an entrepreneur.
Being an entrepreneur makes me feel excited. Being an entrepreneur makes me feel mature.
Being an entrepreneur makes me feel like I actually have a chance to become a businesswoman. I really want to become the best businesswoman I can ever be.
So that gives you a little bit of an idea of the Young Entrepreneur Market. Aren't those kids cute? And then I'm going to tell you about the Young Entrepreneur Pitch Challenge. This is, we don't have a lot of curriculum ourselves. We tend to do a lot of consulting and a lot of kind of overlooking and passing out lots of different resources and ideas to folks out there. But we in Northeast Ohio have been doing pitch challenges for the last 5 or 6 years. So we recently took what we had been doing out in the classroom and after school programs and just made a really light lift pitch challenge tool guide. So you can see it's just a simple set of activities, help the kids learn creativity, problem solving, critical thinking, and presentation skills. So you can click on these links and grab your free toolkit. There's no cost to it, just a quick registration so that we can send you information on it. We have webinars that are just a half hour that you're welcome to jump in, or you're also welcome just to email me and I'm happy to jump on with you. So in terms of a light lift, we just have 5 sections in it. Working on problem identification, coming up with a problem, checking to see that it is truly a business opportunity, putting it together in nice pitch content and structure. And these are typically just 30 to 90 second pitches, practicing, and some sort of culminating event, whether that is a showcase or pitch competition or the Gator Pit. So just some sort of event in the end. And this is super flexible. In the toolkit, there are videos and there's worksheets, everything you need to facilitate it. And we meant it to be for anybody. You don't need to be an entrepreneur. You don't need to be a teacher. Anybody can facilitate this, but we are also here to help should you need any guidance or would like the confidence of going over some of the lessons. And it can be done easily in 45-minute lessons. So we've had people do it in an afternoon, like have kids together from 12 to 5 and do the whole thing. We've had people doing it, one day a week for 5 days, or over a month or a semester. And you can use bits and pieces. You're welcome to take what you like and not what you don't like. And also you can weave in Venture Lab and Waggy Labs if you want to make it a heavier lift or add some of this to their material. So it's out there. There's also a hosting guide that's included. So talking about planning your challenge, engaging the community, and running your challenge. And again, this is flexible. It can be done in an after-school program with 5 kids, or you could do it with the whole state of Florida. So it is for use for anybody. And you can pop down here. We have a couple of videos of kids from K through 4, 5 through 8, and 9 through 12. And in the toolkit are also some more videos for you to look, and also videos that go along with each of the lessons. So that is out there, and you are welcome to reference that. And then I just wanted to quickly show you our resource page here. I know a lot of you are probably distance learning over the last year, and I'm not sure what next year will bring, but just to let you know, we have a section here that gives you a lot of virtual options should you need them. And it's a big directory. You can click here for the complete list, and there are links that go to them, as well as kind of dividing it out by age group and what it's about. Here comes my Google Doc. So you can see their grade level, a link to it, the type, the kind, the resource, and Waggy Labs and Venture Labs are on here as well. And things like Junior Achievement, Lemonade Day, and then just different resources for the classroom, for the kids directly, and general resources. So feel free to peruse that if you're looking for something. The other section of this I wanted to tell you about is we also have a speakers bureau. So typically in the past, these have been kind folks who generously give their time to speak in the Northeast Ohio area, but now that we're all Zooming, they will Zoom to you. So feel free to kind of peek into here. And if you click on their full bio, like Bob Gillingham is a Bob Gillingham Ford, which is a local car dealership in our area, but you can see what his bio is. And then you can just click on send email, click in your information, and it will send an email to him. So this might give you ideas. You guys are welcome to use ours, or maybe something will think, oh, well, I have a dealership right down the street. We could use him. So feel free to use that as you see fit. The other thing I really like too is our resource directory. And this is nice because you can filter it out by grade and by sort of the activity that you'd like to do. So if you want to, hopefully it'll come up in a minute. You can click into different activities, like you can see here, camp, consulting, contest, curriculum, field trip. And so you can, click on the different age groups. So if you say, oh, I have a 6th grade group, what are thoughts for field trips out there in that venue? And it will narrow it down to say these 10 or so resources. So feel free, and then if you just click on these, they take you to that particular resources, Upcycle Parts Shop, and you can see the grades, what different resources they have available, and go directly to their website. So feel free to pop into that. The resources, are all over the nation. The other thing, we have sort of a game guru on our team named Robin Eisen. So she loves games. So she has put together this list of entrepreneurial games that you might like to sneak into. Snake Oil is actually the first one on here. It's a great one for all ages. It's a quick game. You can do it online, or it looks like you can buy it, I think, on Amazon for about $20. But feel free to peruse through this list. And if you guys have any additions or anything, Young Entrepreneur Institute is always interested in feedback and ideas and adding and iterating. So, if you have a game you love and it's not on our list, please feel free to let us know. But here's some games for you to enjoy with your kiddos. Let's see. Move my black bar and see if I can get out of this one. And the other thing we do, we have a lot of research on our website, so feel free to delve into that if you're looking anything in the entrepreneurship realm. And I saw, I think maybe Kenyatta, somebody online has a big Lemonade Day background. So we have the license in Northeast Ohio and are happy to work with you and Jennifer and Brian to connect you with whatever you need in terms of Lemonade Day in the Florida area. The other thing we do are power hours, and we typically do these kind of once a month, free of charge, and it's just an hour of resources. So in the past, we usually pick a topic, and this one sheet on our website gives you a nice guide to what we have done in the past. So you're welcome. They're all online and they're pretty quick. So if you want to pop in and see a snippet, our last one was Side Hustle Summer, and our executive director and founder, Greg Malkin, spoke. And we had a couple teachers who also had side hustles. So Julie Hunter is a teacher, and she also sells her jewelry creations. So that was one of our power hours. We've done creativity, marketing madness. Both Chic and Scott have been on them. Financial figuring, empathy and compassion, failing forward. So feel free to pop into those videos are all above. You can use this little sheet as a guide to get to them because that will tell you where we've been. And so I think lastly, what I would love to tell you about is we do an Inspire conference every year, and it is in November. The past Inspire conference material is on our website, so you're welcome to, I know you guys probably don't have much spare time, but if you have a moment and want to go into these past speakers, we had Ashley Ammons, who was LeBron James's first intern and launched her business. And then we had Heather McGowan on the future of work, and Kim Bearden, who's with the Ron Clark Academy. So these are all here for your viewing pleasure, and then we will keep you abreast. But we would love to have you all at our conference, and it is November 4th through the 6th or 7th this year. It's going to be probably a hybrid, maybe some in person, but also virtually. And speaking of that, I know Scott has his event on Thursday, but you can make Thursday Entrepreneurial Day if you wanted to. We also have our Summer Inspire that was going to be in person, but is going to be virtual. So love you to join us. If you have an interest, we have Zell Wade, who's the toy coach, and she's going to discuss how her love for toys helped her launch her into the entrepreneurial world. And then we are also going to have Cindy Burnett and Izzy on, and they are from Creativity and Education. So there will be a speaker, and then there will be breakout groups and sessions. And Cindy Burnett has a great book called Weaving Creativity into Any of Your Curriculum. So these are great, free of charge. It's 9 to 11 on Thursday. So feel free, if you can't come for the whole thing, even feel free just to come for part of it. So that was just a quick overview of our Young Entrepreneur website, some of the resources we have. As I said, we can consult, if you want to talk about anything, if you say I've got something to brainstorm with Chic, or if you want to talk about your program, what might fit in, what resources you need, speakers, podcasts, books, other curriculum, anything. We are here and happy to help and look forward to working with all of you. Any questions on Young Entrepreneur Institute? As Chic and Scott said, we'd like to have fun, and we hope that you guys will have fun with your kids and your programs with entrepreneurship.
No, thank you, Kelly. I think a lot of Florida is just starting to get on board with this, but I would love to hear from some of you that might have already started something or looking to start something in the fall or spring of this year.
Hi, I wanted just to chime in, not about starting something necessarily, but just a question to all the presenters, maybe more to Chic. It seems to me that kids can be, they're ready to be creative. It's adults sometimes that we have the blocks of what can be done, and no, you can't do that. And I just was wondering if the presenters could maybe speak to any support that there is for the adults that are going to be running these programs.
So yeah, thank you. So I think you asked me to respond on that one. We do train the teacher before Waggy Labs is ever taught to the kids. You're exactly right. I teach them improv. I teach them, so I help them eliminate the yes buts and say yes ands. I also give them little mental cues, like when you hear someone's idea. Now, I mean, this is like, this might seem really simple. However, for an adult, this is really hard. When you hear an idea, and just try it out today, when you hear someone throw out an idea, say, and it could be a wild one, say, what would have to be true for this to be a great idea? And this could be any, and I'll give you an example. 2.5 years ago, I was working with the intelligence community, and when I work with them, I go into a room called a skiff, which means there's no outside access. And we're talking North Korea, we're talking cyber, all kinds of issues, and I'm helping them brainstorm. And I said, so what is a challenge what's a big challenge? They go, we're having a hard time recruiting because young people go, gosh, we go work for the Intel community, we can't work from home, we can't have iPhones, we can't do this, can't do that. And I said, so work from home, let's talk about it. Is there any of your work that you can do from home? And something that we can't even talk about work from home. And I said, this 2.5 years ago, I said, what would have to be true for us to have a discussion about work from home? And someone said, what if there was a global pandemic? So we had a brainstorm about what if there's a global pandemic and how we work from home. And all I can tell you is the director of the agency told me a couple of months ago, thank you. That's the first time we really discussed that concept because a lot of people had to work from home. So I teach that concept. When you hear an idea, what would have to be true? So I'm trying to get people to be curious first, critical second. Adults are great at critical first. I tried it for them. And so that's, as one principal in Cumberland, Virginia, rural Cumberland, Virginia, she said, I think I learned more from implementing Waggy Labs than the kids did. I learned a whole new way of teaching. And I think that's what entrepreneurship brings to all this. And it's sort of really, so I think entrepreneurship is really focused on the kids and on how do we create that environment so that ideas can flourish and failure is acceptable and safe.
And thank you, Chic. And that's kind of what my role is too. There's a lot of resources that were shared with you guys today. And, follow up with this seminar, I'll be reaching out to each of you individually, kind of getting a lay of the land of where you're at. I've already met with CIS. I already know which day of the week they want to implement their curriculum, how often, the time frame, and kind of putting together a learning schedule or a pacing guide of some sort. And then even offering to help model some of the lessons. But you're right, there has to be a train the trainers before any of this is rolled out with youth, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are here to help and to, we can do a workshop for any of your program leads or your kids or anybody that you want us to jump on and do a webinar or workshop or a seminar or an activity. All of us are very open to that. So yes, we all as adults, it is a little harder, I think, for us to turn our minds around. And as Chic said, to be curious first and critical second. So, but we're here to help. And, our model is sort of a train the trainer model. So we are here and happy to do whatever you all need.
I think just putting your instructors and the adults through the process themselves, and through that experience, they realize that they are also lifelong learners, and that type of inherent failure, frustration, perseverance that occurs during this process, when they feel that, and then we guide that reflection, okay, this is what your kids go through, but maybe not just in entrepreneurship, but also in math and science, through school, through their life as well. But the light bulb always goes off for that instructor. And if we're able to provide that ongoing support while they're working with kids to deepen and extend that reflection and understanding, it's always helpful.
Okay, so we are running a little bit ahead of schedule, and I actually already spoke with Kenyatta before this, but since I joined FAN, I was shared with or introduced to this whole Lemonade Day concept. And I've done a little research. I've watched some of the news stories on it and different articles. Kelly, you sent me quite a bit of stuff. So last week I had a really great meeting with their national director and their new CEO, just to kind of learn a little bit more. In Florida, Lemonade Day happens in Tallahassee, and right now only in Tallahassee. I think this was their 7th year. And I said, well, who can I connect with? I would love to talk to that person and possibly have Tallahassee be the model for the rest of the state. And so with us today, we do have Kenyatta, who is over Lemonade Day in Tallahassee, which is underneath, I think, FAMU. And I would like to just give the floor to her for a few minutes and introduce herself, and so we can learn a little bit more about Lemonade Day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Again, I am Kenyatta Roger, and I serve as City Director for Lemonade Day Tallahassee. The person who may know the most about me is Kelly with Lemonade Day Northeast Ohio. I know, Brian, you actually were the person that I was supposed to reach out to and connect with. Jesse connected me to you actually here in Tallahassee. But rather than just talk and add to that, let me show you a quick 1-minute video about Lemonade Day to kind of help you to grasp what we do, which is teaching you to start, own, and operate their own business, a lemonade stand.
We've all heard the old saying about taking lemons and turning them into lemonade. We take it literally, and we're spreading it across North America. You see, all of us depend on small businesses to create jobs, but kids aren't learning how to create small businesses in school. So who will teach children how to create the jobs of the future? That's where we come in. It's called Lemonade Day. It started with one lemonade stand and turned into a movement. One day a year, hundreds of thousands of kids all over North America start, own, and run their own businesses. We help kids every step of the way. We teach them, give them tools, help them with goal setting and creating a business plan. And we teach them how to save some, spend some, and share some with their favorite charity. But we need help to make it happen. Here's what you can do. If you're a teacher, think about adding Lemonade Day to your program. If you're a parent, encourage your kids and their friends to sign up and run their own lemonade stands. For everybody else, volunteer your time and business expertise as a mentor or organizer. And of course, your donations are crucial to making sure Lemonade Day is a success. Today, your corner lemonade stand. Tomorrow, the world. Get involved at lemonadeday.org.
All right, and that was the introduction to Lemonade Day, and that is what we've been doing for the last 7 years in Tallahassee, Florida. A lot of the programs that different mentors, schools, colleges, organizations get involved with, they like the idea of having a program that has a foundation for entrepreneurship as well as financial literacy. They like it packaged with a curriculum, and what makes it something that is desirable is there is a beginning, a middle, and an end to Lemonade Day. So what we do is offer this opportunity to train mentors in the area who in turn around and train the youth. So this could be staff and supervisors at community centers. This could be Girl Scout leader and troops. This could be parents of their own children in the household. And what you do is you expose them, you provide them with the training materials. Of course, there is a registration for them to do so, but no fees. So we've been able to do this in Tallahassee with the help of our mayor, as well as with the help of the Small Business Development Center and the Jim Moran Institute. We have been able to access about 1,000 kids in Tallahassee today. So with it being a beginning, middle, and end of Lemonade Day Tallahassee, we create activities that culminate to Lemonade Day. And nationally, there are several cities who have Lemonade Day. And for the longest, we have been the only city in the state of Florida to do it. Now, Jacksonville did want to get on board. However, the pandemic changed that. So to be able to partner with us gives you access to the resources, to the curriculum, to the youth, and to have something consistent. I love Chic's presentation as well as Venture Lab's presentation when they talked about it depends on how much time you have. Lemonade Day could be a workshop or a session over 3 days, or we can stretch it out over 26 lessons. But depending on the audience, they have different interests, they have different needs. Our audiences include schools, they include curriculums for, believe it or not, banks and credit unions. They like to partner with us. You also have different startups, different companies who offer resources in the youth. We have a doming station here in Tallahassee that wants to expose youth to entrepreneurship. We have 4-H, as well as some of the extensions that you have throughout. We operate on a college and university. So the model that we utilize is through FAMU, Florida A&M University's business school. So business school has the license, and what we do is just partner with different individuals in the community to make it possible for everyone. So I look forward to sharing more and talking more about this, and hopefully we can garner some interest with the After School Network and anyone else that may be interested in bringing Lemonade Day to your city.
Thank you, Kenyatta. And is it true with the business school, isn't one of their classes like count toward they have to go out and mentor, they have to do so many hours, the students with the youth? Okay.
Now, each year you have different rules around how to go out, but the model that we were able to utilize in the School of Business and Industry is to not only teach them the foundation and the principles of Lemonade Day, but integrated into the principles of management curriculum as well as the principles of a marketing curriculum. So rather than just doing a marketing plan or rather than doing just a business plan, which is what typical college students do as their capstone project, the students actually get trained for a week. They have on-site opportunities to be able to partner with youth. We were very fortunate to be able to partner with City Parks and Rec with Tallahassee and assign students that were actually in my management class all around the city of Tallahassee. And so throughout the course of teaching this during the summer, you have about 10 weeks, really. It's usually a 12-week course, but you have about 10 weeks. But they were able to take about 4 of those weeks and completely dedicate it to Lemonade Day. So it made it wonderful because, you know, the individuals who are already overwhelmed in the community centers with kids and youth and too little staff could have these college students come in, mentor these youth, and they could go on and set up the Lemonade Day stand on Lemonade Day, provide the resources. We helped them with that. The students even volunteered to provide the startup funds, or they did a little mini fundraiser. It was really wonderful to see the youth in the classes, the college students, really take the reins and create Lemonade Day for the youth by starting with the curriculum. So again, with the brainstorming, you don't limit yourself, but each different group kind of turned into something different for each of the youth who received it. And it was part of their grade for the class. So it was a win-win for everyone.
Thank you, Kenyatta. Awesome. Well, I just want to say thank you to all of our TA providers today for presenting. And, you know, we do have some time left, so I would love to open the floor for questions. Any dialogue, comments?
I did want to ask a question of Chic. When you were doing Waggy Labs, how is it that you find access to your youth? Do individuals just get access to the resources you provide and contact you? Or did you actually reach out to others to kind of offer them that opportunity to get affiliated with your programs? And the same thing to you, Scott and Kelly.
So I guess my situation is going to be rather unique. I sort of came at this as a person that goes and speaks at conferences.
Okay.
So I was speaking at the National Afterschool Association conference about 7 years ago. And all of a sudden I had Waggy Labs in my mind. And so I used some of it to talk about in my talk, and that generated a lot. And then once we became a nonprofit, then when I would go and give a talk at like for Capital One, and I would put a little of Waggy Labs in that, they go, whoa, we would like to contribute and we'd like to donate and we'd like to help. So everything we do is word of mouth, which is sort of fun. And then it was word of mouth that we heard about YEI, and then Kelly and I got on, and then Kelly introduced me to Scott, and it's just, and that's that's how Waggy Labs has flown. At 73, I'm not on social media. So I do it the old fashioned way, but I have an interesting platform that I'm speaking, 3 or 4 talks a week. And it's always a different audience. Like next week, I'm doing leaders of the FBI. But I'll talk a little bit about Waggy Labs, and you'll never know when maybe the spouse of one of the agents is a teacher, and then that. So that's just our model, but so we do have a website and all that, but most of everything comes word of mouth.
Thank you.
Venture Lab began kind of local in Texas throughout the southern region and expanded similarly in word of mouth and families talking, schools talking. We've had some growth recently based around our work with the after-school networks and through our website, where all of our no-cost resources are available, and then some of our other programs. And so through the Florida Afterschool Network, those resources, the majority of them are available at no cost. There might be a small scholarship form to fill out, but we definitely are supporting this work in Florida and want everyone to have access to entrepreneurship.
Awesome.
Right, and kind of the same story with YEI as Venture Lab. We started in Northeast Ohio. Northeast Ohio has a pretty strong entrepreneurial ecosystem, maybe stronger, one of the strongest in the nation, I'd say. We have a foundation called the Burton D. Morgan Foundation that we work very closely with, that does a lot in the entrepreneurship arena with all age groups. So Greg started it in 2006, started very small, and just same thing, sort of word of mouth, and working with Burton D. Morgan and other people in the area, and just spreads. And we work with a lot of classrooms as well, starting out, and then sort of expanded with the Mott Foundation into the after school world. And Ohio has like a Jennifer Smith of Ohio named Liz Nuskin, who does the same thing. So I work super closely with her, spreading it throughout Ohio. And then, as you guys know, now we're with Florida and Missouri and New Jersey and a whole bunch of different states. So sort of the same story as Venture Lab, where we've been growing and growing, and love talking to people about entrepreneurship, and every day learning new things and meeting new people and finding new partners.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing.
Okay. Any other questions or insight? Are there any organizations that are ready to roll some entrepreneurship curriculum out in the fall? Okay. Well, I want to thank you again for joining us today. We will be creating a Google folder to share with all of our participants, where all of our TA providers will be able to put some resources in there for you. And again, we'll be here. If you have any questions, we'll definitely be following up with each and every one of you. So thank you. And if you have no other questions, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.
I have one more request. There is a lot of information in the chat, and for some reason, I teach every single day of the fall, summer, and spring, and I've never had an issue copy and pasting information from the chat.
I know, I'm copying it too, and it's not working.
I don't know what it is. So if you could save the chat file and share that as well, that's my request.
Holly. Is Holly on? Hold on.
Yeah, I was
think
just
it's
trying to
still
do the same
downloaded.
thing. I was trying to save the chat and it doesn't seem like I can do it.
It's really bizarre. I know. I tried to copy and paste it all in Word. It's not working.
Yeah. I literally just did this last
Um,
week. My classes ended on Monday. So this is something different, something new. But I do know on the back end of Zoom, you could save the chat file. So when you close out, or whoever the administrator is, sometimes it saves it directly to your local computer, but I just can't get it.
I'm going to screenshot the one from Lake Worth Children's Inc. And then the others, oh, here we go. Yeah. Holly, do you think you'll be able to save it somehow? Let's see.
Holly put in the chat that she'll download it and send it.
Okay, perfect. All right. All right,
Sorry
everyone.
about that for coming
Have a
in
great
late.
day.
Hi guys. Yes, I forgot that I deactivated that. One of my last clients didn't want people downloading anything because of, I don't remember why, and I forgot to deactivate that. So my sincerest apologies. I absolutely have it on the back end, and we'll give it to Jennifer so she can distribute to everybody.
Thank you, Holly.
Of course. Sorry. And I was like trying to get unmuted. I'm like sitting here talking, like, why can't you guys hear me? Oh yeah, you're on mute. Joys of our life with Zoom.
All right. You guys are awesome. It was great seeing everybody today, and we'll be in touch soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
You all have a good day.
You too.
You.
This is where you get to see
Good.
who's on. You can also, as host, kick them out or remove them. You
Oh,
click on the three
Brian,
dots.
are you there?
Some people go MIA.
Remove. Remove. And okay. All right.
Good job. Well done.
Now, are you still recording?
How do I know? I don't see the record thing anymore.
It says it's still recording. I recorded.
Oh. Stop recording. Okay.